Hey guys, this is Kino Say. So a little bit of bad news. I won't be able to upload an AR Defense Replays 3 this week because as I was wrapping up the editing and processing of the video, my computer crashed midway, so some of the individual media files that I used to compose the overall Defense Replays ended up being corrupted, and that's why I won't be able to post one up this week, unfortunately. And so in lieu of that, I'm trying my hand again at an AR offense video. The difference this time being that I'm using a separate device, being my phone, to record the audio separately from my computer, which is using an emulator to record the in-game visuals and audio. So that way, when I sort of mesh the two together in the editor, hopefully the overall audio quality doesn't degrade like it usually does when I try to record everything on my phone. And I think that's basically everything that I wanted to let you guys know real quick. But before we get into the battles, one thing that we have to do is to go over my offense teams, because this is new for both you and me. I've never introduced them before, so basically the backbone of all of the teams are the two mythics, the free mythics. Both of them are unmerged, and the bonus hero. So Peony I have running Triangle Adept, Wings of Mercy, Fortify Res 4, and Attack Tactic 3. Air I've got running a Res Refined Tamari as opposed to her original weapon. I kind of forgot the name, sorry. She's also running Fury to help her Tamari sort of kick in. Wings of Mercy 3, Sparkling Boost, and Defense Tactic. I usually like to run tactic skills on my light season teams for visible bonuses, and because of that, I usually try to avoid running flyer bonus units unless I'm going for like an all flyer sort of team, in which case I probably wouldn't even go with tactics. I'd probably go with like Hone, Fortify, Ward, and Goad Flyers, to be honest, but I don't think I'd do that. That's probably something I'd save for like Astra season. But anyway, back on topic. I was lucky enough to pull a small Merrick off of the 30th anniversary banner, so that way I wouldn't have to use Young Minerva. And while there are other potential bonus units, Sharena or the Asker Trio I usually reserve for Astra season. I don't have a Legendary Crom, and Halloween Rolf and Conrad are either foddered off or like unpromoted, so that's why I don't have much confidence in them as bonus units. So yeah, luckily enough I was able to get a Merrick. He's not ideal IVs, but it doesn't bother me too much. I don't think I'm going to use him too much in the future. He's got his base kit except for his B skill, which I opted to give him Desperation because I kind of wanted to see how making use of his speed to double would pan out as opposed to preventing counterattacks. So if I don't like Desperation, I can sort of just switch back to Windsweep later on if I really feel like it. I do have that inherited on him. And so with those three out of the way, we'll just go over the two units that I have on each and every other team. For this team, Team 1, a skilled boy, obviously, I have Roy, my boy. I don't have Fey Pass, so that's why I haven't Summoner supported him. I do have like another unit on a separate team, which is Summoner supported, and you'll get to see that in a bit. But basically, he's running his QR Refined Binding Blade, so that way I can have him take on Impact and Null follow-up users, so that way it comes down to a speed check and he can naturally double them. He's also running DC, which is canon in my opinion, and Null Seed Disrupt, so he can get rid of pesky Sweep and Dazzle users, and the rest of his kit seems pretty basic and self-explanatory. I've got a speed boon on him, because I like my boy Speedy, basically. One thing to note, though, is that his support in this team is his father, Brave Eliwood, which I used as my free pick for CYL3. But his ally support is actually OG Cecilia, and that's because I usually use him in a team with her for sort of MHB, LHB, and GHB map clears. And long story short, I'm just too lazy to sort of swap between the two and constantly grind ally support for that. I'm already grinding summoner support for like my Astra and light season tanks basically, so I don't want to commit too much more time and effort there. Basically the other support unit here is, as I've mentioned, Brave Eliwood. He's running his base kit, and I've given him Defense Feint to make use of his rallying debuff potential. And while I do have some other, I guess, I don't know if I would call them higher quality, but basically very capable support units in the likes of Kaden and Brave Lucina, I've sort of opted to stay true, to try and stay true, at least, to my Alib roots. I, well, basically grew up in the GBA generation of games, and FE7 was basically my introduction to Fire Emblem, and Smash Bros. Melee was my introduction to Roy and FE6, so that's why, a bit of a simplistic reason really, but that's why Alib in general is my favorite series of the Fire Emblem games. And yeah, so that's my first team. Team 2, close to you, the kanji there is for armor. Basically this team is to help me check flyers and armors. In case you didn't know what the song Close to You by the Carpenters is, the first line is basically talking about birds, so kind of fitting, I would think, or maybe that's just me. I've got Close Counter, Slaying Bow, Vantage set on my LA Roy to sort of help me take out fireballs, and I've got Duo Hector to help me out with that by using his Duo skill, and Duo Hector himself is also armor effective, so I can check armor balls as well. So that's sort of just like a really quick overview of this team. It's basically just movement type checks, well, 2 of them specifically. I usually don't see any cavalry related stuff during light season, but if that's the case, my Omega Tank team can usually handle them, I think. Team 3, it's my Gale Force team. I am running Brave Roy and Legendary Hector. During non-fire seasons, I would usually opt to run a different armor with the Bold Fighter Gale Force set, but while it is fire season, I'd like to take advantage of Legendary Hector's Ostia Pulse, so I don't have to run Quicken Pulse on Roy. So that way, if Roy has to double a unit that doesn't counterattack, he can still get his Gale Force off. Basically, he runs Roy runs Fury and Desperation, so he can sort of knock himself down into Wings of Mercy range for whatever dancers or warping offensive units can, you know, come in and just help clean up the rest of the map. And it's sort of like a hybrid sort of hit and run and tank with while Hector's here, just because I'd probably sort of snipe key units and then pull back with Roy and the other units while letting Hector do some like tanking in case I haven't really cleared out the rest of the map, like taken the Aether or whatnot. I do actually have a +10 Eliwood, whoops, but I've sort of just opted to run Roy because Roy has much better speed, and I feel like that's more synergistic with Peony and Light Season in general. And I run Eliwood on a fire defense setup, which hopefully I'll be able to get a video out of sometime soon. Anyway, moving on to the next team. This is my Omega Tank team featuring my Winter Cecilia and Zephiel. So Winter Cecilia is my Omega Tank, and she's sort of like a a special check and IP check. She's, if you've noticed here, actually plus 10 now thanks to the final copy that I've gotten from the recent Hall of Forms, and I've used my Formisol on that. And while I do spend money on the game, it's largely to sort of get characters from the Olib series that I really, really like and I have huge investments into. So Cecilia's pretty much been taken care of with that, and this is her build. I'm running Minty Cane off of Winter Jafar because while I would have liked to invest and build in a Winter Jafar, I just feel like 2 dagger armors is kind of too much. And so I've kept 1 copy around, but she's my main tank. And she's running Close Counter Special Fighter Pulse Smoke. And I have her partner, Zephiel, running a Distant Defense set to sort of serve a dual tank role in addition to serving as a lightning rod for attacks for ranged units, basically. So if I clear out a map, Zephiel can sort of just eat hits while I proceed to sort of just snag the Aether and then finish the map after that. I did sort of contemplate whether or not I wanted to run like a different build on him, but for the most part, this has served me well enough that I haven't really been convinced otherwise. So yeah, this is the team, this is her support. It's called Naughty List because Cecilia is Santa, and she punishes people who are on the Naughty List, basically people who use Infantry Pulse. I hate Infantry Pulse. So for Team 5, I usually don't use this team on Light because I haven't really figured out what I wanted to do with this, and I've usually done well enough with just those 4 teams. I've sort of tried running like just strictly legendary heroes, but I don't really want to commit too many Light Blessings and too many of my like merged heroes because I do reserve some of them for arena purposes, for scoring purposes. And so yeah, I usually just run these 4 teams right here. And with the introductions out of the way, let's get into it. Alright, first match of the day and the week, so a double up is in order. Alright, I guess I got matched up with somebody from tier 20 because I ended up losing my defense match today. So we have a legendary Alm here. Mercedes or Mercedes. Is he a fan of 3 houses? Blue Lions, perhaps? Doesn't really look like it. So we have Duma, who's off season. Interesting. And then we have a Soth, who's plus 10, Pegasus Carrot. Blazing Wind, that's a bit of an odd combination. Hoping to check armor units, I guess. So I'm not certain I want to use my Cecilia here, but maybe Roy can do something about this. We've got Legendary Alm, who's also off season. I believe it's... oh, wow, okay, that's a plus 10 Alm. Wow, alright. This is, I'm starting to feel a little intimidated here. Pretty strong ranged units. Then we've got a Legendary Tiki. Wow, is this guy a whale? Wow, okay, this is definitely looking like a Roy map now. And then we've got Surtur and Legendary Zero, because why not? She's everywhere. So, Roy shouldn't have a problem with null follow-up on Alm because those two should effectively cancel each other out, and then it comes down to a speed check. If I try to enemy phase this, well, first of all, Alm will get debuffed by Tamari, so He'll go -5, then he gets +9, +4, so that's +13. So he'll be +8, so that's 53 speed. Soth, on the other hand, will have 41 speed. He doesn't get any additional speed. I may want to take this on an odd turn, just because I don't want them to get their visible buffs off. And Roy is also a good check for both Tiki and Surtur. And Duma. Well, yeah, this is definitely looking like a Roy map. Let's see. So with bonuses, he'll have 44. With this, he'll have 48. Visible buffs wise, unfortunately, since Merrick has 41 speed and he's the bonus unit, he'll have more speed, and so that's why speed opening will go to him. But that's also why I'm running rally speed, and I do also have Peony's visible buffs and cardinal drives, so 48 plus 4 visible buffs tops, so that's 52, and then 55 from cardinal buffs. So unfortunately, doesn't look like Roy's gonna be able to naturally double. So I guess this is honestly kind of where a speed refined binding blade would have come in handy, but that's okay. I think what we can do is sort of just try and snipe him before it comes down to that. Oh, wait, right. Alm has odd attack wave, so it doesn't actually matter what turn I go on. Both of them are going to have visible buffs. And Azur is also running attack tactic. Well, I did say this was a Roy map, but I didn't specify which one, even though I previewed my Binding Blade Roy. Maybe I can Gale Force this. Hector could probably take on Soth. Brave Roy could initiate and actually take care of Alm, because on player phase, Alm will still have 40 speed, and Brave Roy, I believe, has 47 after Light Blessing. And then, yeah, after visible buffs and cardinal buffs and his Blazing Durandal, that's definitely enough to double. I don't think I'm going to be too concerned about being able to take out Alm. His defenses aren't that great. And so, if I use Hector to take out Soth, Brave Roy to take out Alm, what can I do with this Duma? Hector can actually probably do something again. Because Hector has Bold Fighter, so Bold Fighter and Fell Breath would cancel each other out and it'd come down to a speed check, and I'm fairly confident my Hector has enough speed to naturally double a Duma. So once I've cleared these 3 out, Tiki has extra movement, but the furthest she can go if I leave the structures alone is Azura's current position, and Azura would probably be distracted by either my Hector or my Roy. Surtur's not going anywhere, so yeah, this kind of looks like a Gale Force map now after closer inspection. I don't think I even need the Wings of Mercy shenanigans, really. I can just sort of clear out these 3 and leave the rest alone, and then sort of just take my time dismantling the rest of the map. Alright, let's do that. Forgive me if I'm speaking too fast or unclearly. This is sort of my first time recording, so I'm a little nervous. Hopefully I don't sort of butterfinger. Yeah.
Good morning.
Let's do this. Okay. I'm not sure if I need Merrick in this situation. Oh. Well, that helps. I guess this guy forgot to replace his armor school with a cavalry school. Works in my favor, I guess. So, first things first. It would probably be clearing out this column, but if I do that, Alm basically has an attack range of up to this tile. So if I do clear out that column, I'd probably want to make my attack the same turn. And so I think my play would be to break the bolt tower and this foreboding lizard first, and then sort of just move my Roy up. Use one of my flyers to sort of clear out the tactics room afterwards. So I probably use my air to take out the tactics room, and then I'd move up my Hector and get Peony to dance him so he can engage Soth. Let me just make sure that the math checks out. So he's got 64 attack, 70 attack, whoa, 70 attack with attack tactics, and 73 from Peony's Flower of Joy. So 73 minus 22, dang, that's 51. Holy crap, okay, she's... Hector actually ends up one-shotting him, so Gale Force doesn't occur. Let me see. Pegasus Carrot, effective against armor foes. If a unit has weapon triangle advantage, neutralizes effects that prevents units' follow-up attacks. Okay, but Soth is colorless, so that doesn't really apply to Hector. Or, I guess, armor units in general, really. It's weird that you would give him that as opposed to Sky Myogi, but... Anyway, what can I do then? Oh, one other problem that I see is that Doom is upheaval. Oh wait, right, it's not anima season. I kind of keep forgetting that. So that shouldn't really affect anybody on my team. So Hector should stay healthy and still maintain his armored boots. So if I manage to avoid giving Hector attack tactic buffs, he would get +3 from Gentle Dream and then +3 from Flower of Joy, so that's +6. So that's 70 attack instead. So 70 minus 22, that's 48. So that would actually allow Hector to get 2 attacks in and trigger Gale Force. So how would I do that? Maybe I'd have Merrick draw back Peony. And then get Peony to dance Hector afterwards. That might be a plan. So, idea is to clear out these two first. So Roy would move up, take this out, and then Air would, I guess, move up, take that out, and then the following turn, Air would move on to the Bolt Tower tile and take out Tactics Room. Roy is over here and has enough range to engage Alm and double him. Roy would have 67 attack, I believe. Peony wouldn't necessarily be in his column for cardinal buffs, so 67 minus 31, that's 36, so he can still double and get the Gale Force off as well. So that's good. And, well, let me just make sure that Hector can actually take out Doom, I suppose. So, after visible buffs 67, Doom would take 7 damage from Roy's Savage Blow, so that's 44. So 67 minus 34 is 33. 33 times 2, 66. Yeah, that should be enough, actually. Okay, so I think I've got my play. So let me actually move Peony away. Or, no, let me move Peony and Merrick. Alright. Hopefully this works out like I intended.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay, Butterfingers right off the bat, but that's okay. I have Peony. This is much tougher with the emulator than I thought. Oh, the future's not looking bright for an AR offense series. Looks like I have to take offense much more slowly than I intended. Okay, so from here, I actually want to keep Peony away from Hector so he doesn't get the attack tactic buffs. So I think I'm going to end turn here. Or am I? Let me make sure that I actually have enough movement on my Peony. So after I drag back Merrick onto this tile, Peony would be over here. I don't know if that would work. Honestly, I feel like Peony would probably have to move onto this mountain tile and then move 2 spaces over to the left. That way she can dance Hector, and she's still out of his range. Okay, so it looks like it's going to take an extra turn, unfortunately. I didn't really think that through. Okay, but I think it's still doable. Wait a second, what's going on? Why did I take 7 damage? Thankfully, Air's Sparkling Boosts came to save the day, and that's just really awkward. What is this? It says, if defending an Aether raids during Anima season, this skill's lying to me. What is this?
Let's get moving.
So unfortunately, Hector lost his Armored Boots for that turn, but Sparkling Boost from Air saved the day, so it ended up taking an extra turn anyway.
That's correct.
But I think all's good, basically. We got this.
Ready.
Okay. I think there's no harm in destroying this banner or flag. Alright, looks like it's going to take an extra turn. I'll end turn here. Ooh, that's no bueno. I forgot about the tactics room. Man, I'm just letting a lot of things slip. Because I'm just kind of letting the fact that I'm recording something sort of just get to me and distract me. Okay, ooh, how can I resolve this? If I moved Hector 2 spaces up and pretend that this tactics room's cleared out, I moved Roy up. If I draw back with Merrick here, Peony would end up on the tile that Roy is currently occupying. Peony can move 1 space up, Hector would be over here. That way Peony could still dance. And Hector would have 67 attack as opposed to 70. That's not too bad. That still allows for 2 attacks to take out South and trigger Gale Force. So I think it's still in play here. Alright. So let's go ahead and destroy this tactics room.
Now what?
Roy is going to go ahead and engage with Alm, just as planned and calculated. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move Hector up now.
Let's see.
Whew. That's...
Good morning.
I was kind of afraid that I screwed up there for a second, because I let, like, a lot of things slip past me, but... Looks like... Oh, okay. For some reason, I still ended up doing extra damage. Okay. Ah, crap. Hopefully, Roy... he can't do it. Okay. I think this calls for a tactical retreat. Maybe...
The fight is on.
I think I can just sort of pull Roy back over here, and Azura should get distracted by Hector first. Because Duma by himself has no way of reaching me. So I think that's going to be my play over here. Okay. Oh boy. Alright. We've got something going over here.
Now what?
Roy can go ahead and take out Azura. And then
Let's get moving.
Hector can double Duma this time. Alright, trigger Gale Force. And I'm going to have to make my way over to the right side of the map, but it looks like that job's gonna be for air. I believe it's turn 5, so if I move here turn 6, I may have to use Peony to dance to get that one, but I think it should be okay, really. Yeah, so Hector's got this one. I'll go ahead and dance Roy and get Hector out of there.
Got it.
That's correct.
And I'll move air 1 tile away so she's... Huh. Or should I... Actually...
Right then.
This might actually be a job for Merrick instead. So I'll move Merrick over here, and then smite Merrick over. Okay. Oh, it was turn 4. Alright, that's not too bad. I think I still got this.
The fight is on.
So 32 damage, I could dance and get that over with. Yeah, so if I move Roy up and attack once, I could get Peony to dance Roy. Hector would get orders so he could move over and take that fountain. Air could smite Merrick. Merrick could move up 2 spaces and get that amphoray. Alright, so let's go ahead and do that.
I'm ready to help.
Go ahead and snag that pot.
Now what?
Alright, get Roy to attack Surtur.
Ready.
Peony to dance Roy.
Which
Hector
one's
gets
mine?
orders, breaks that fountain,
Got it.
and Roy takes out Surtur. Whew. In hindsight, that honestly didn't seem like too difficult of a map, really, and it wasn't exactly arranged adeptly enough, I would say, but you know, I guess it's balanced out by the fact that I kept screwing up and letting things slip by me because this is my first time recording and I'm getting nervous, so oh boy. I'm glad we got through the first day without too many hiccups. And I'm back in tier 21. Let's go, boys. Alright. Don't really have much else to say or do, really, so I think I will end the recording here, and if the video turns out okay, we will see each other again tomorrow. And hopefully for the rest of this week. Alright, take care, guys. Bye.